Hi folks, it's Babna from Boho Snips. I hope you're all having a lovely day. Today's video is about art making and creating some collage photo or collage papers. And all I'm going to be doing is using different types of book paper to actually create the collage papers with. So I've got some dictionary paper, a mixture of dictionary paper, and I've got different sizes and weights as well. So this is a very old Shillings text page I've got here, and I've got some book paper, some storybook paper as well, and some quite large font paper as well. So I'm just going to be making some marks on these papers, and it's all about just experimenting with mark making and also using some of my stencils as well to create the artwork with. I can't speak today, so that's the plan. So yeah, so let's just get started. So first of all, the colours I'm going to be using are Mars Black from Arteza. This one is the Pebeo DYNA 360, and it's the iridescent blue. And then the other colour I've got is the Abstract Cellular, if you can see that. And this one is called Iridescent Pearl. Let's just get you closer. So it's Iridescent Pearl, Pebeo 360, Arteza's Mars Black. And then the other colour I've got is another Pebeo range, and that one's so Pebeo Studio Acrylics, and that's 350, and it's called Rich Iridescent Gold or Precious Gold. So I've got 4 colours on my palette. I'm just using a plate, one of these plastic plates, to put my colours in. And I've got my paintbrushes. I have got different paintbrushes, but I think the other ones are too large, so I've got this paintbrush that is a cheap one, paintbrush here, so I've got that. And then the stencils that I'm hoping to use with a sponge, which I can't find right now, are some of the stencils, some of my own stencils. So this one is the Namaste sign, which means greetings in Gujarati. So I've created these myself, so I'm going to be using those. I've created this one as well, so this one's more of a cross stencil. And I've created a circular one, and I've created these on my die cutting machine, the Cricut. And I've just used cardstock or file folders to actually create stencils with. This is another one I've created. So actually these are all created by myself. So what we'll do is we're gonna start off with the basic mark making, and we'll start off with that. So yeah, so literally I'm just gonna kind of just make my lines with my paintbrush. You don't have to be highly creative to do this, but I really wanted to get my creative juices flowing, and just kind of do this exercise, and it is a good way to get your creative juices flowing, and it's a great way to start building up your collage papers as well. So I'm just dipping my paintbrush in the paint, and then pressing down gently onto the paper with the I'm not bothered if I've got too much paint on some of the marks that I'm making. That's absolutely fine. So, and then what I could do is I could use this for any kind of mixed media or art project that I choose to use these papers on. I can actually cut them up, I can use them as whole pieces, I can create on top of these papers, and if I'm wiping off my paintbrush when I'm actually doing some artwork, I can also pull these out and create on top of these as well. So that's one. So I've just done basic mark with that particular, you can see that piece. So there's that one. Oh, I've just got some paint on my cutting board. So yeah, make sure you're fully prepared and you've got something to prepare your surface with, which I haven't. So I'm just going to pull that off. So this has just come from a old dictionary book pages, and yeah, so it doesn't matter which way around you do it. I'm going to carry on, and this time I'm just going to do crosses. Why not? And you can do all sorts, make your own marks, you know, no perfection required, just a bit of play. It's kind of going back to the school days when we used to kind of create without even thinking and make marks without thinking. And yeah, I think that's when your inner creativity kind of takes over and you go into that state of mindfulness, which is a really good place to be because it unlocks so much more creativity inside of you and gets you to think about other ideas, expand on ideas. So it helps you to develop your, you know, your artistic skills. And I know it might not seem like this just by doing some basic mark making, but it really does, because this is how I started off my art journey as well 5 years ago. Just kind of having a bit of fun, not taking it too seriously, experimenting and not worrying about the end result, which is really, really important not to do that. So yeah, so here I've done this page very quickly, just with some basic crosses. And black is really effective, so you know, I would advise kind of taking out any, and you don't have to use the Artisan brand or any particular brand. You can just pull out your craft paints and have a go at this. You know, there's no kind of like necessity in having these highly pigmented acrylics. You know, Artes is kind of on the middle range, I guess, of pigmentation. They're good, actually. They're a good, affordable, especially when they're on offer at Hobbycraft and other places. They actually cost £4, and you get, how much is there in here? 100ml in the tube. But when they're on sale towards Christmas and other times of the year, they go down to half price, so £2. So that's when I tend to get the colours that I'm just, you know, running out of and replace them. And the colours that really kind of resonate with me, I'll go for those or try out some new colours. So here I'm just doing some kind of U's or M's or whatever you want to call them. And obviously my paintbrush is quite, I'm just going to zoom it out a bit, it's quite thick, so the thinner the paintbrush, the thinner the lines will be. And like I said, if you run out of paint and it looks a little bit faded, that's another effect you've created yourself already. So that's also usable. Okay, so that's another one I've created, and I've done 3 in like probably less than 5 minutes, to be fair. So you can actually create these so quickly. The only thing is that you need to have the space to then put them away in. So I've got a little bit more black left, and I'm just going to do, what should I do this time? I'm just trying to think. I've done some, I'm just going to do lines actually. So let's just do some lines, right? Something straightforward like lines. And you don't have to do them in a row. You can go all over the page, which is what I'm going to choose to do actually. So it's funny how we always kind of go in one particular direction when we do things as well. It's like when we read, you know, we read from right to left, I think, is that right? Well, left to right, gosh, not making any sense. So, but you get the gist. We're so used to going in a certain direction, and that's what we do, that's what our brains know, that's how we kind of, you know, trained our brains as well. So it's good to, and also use excuse me, so I'm actually right-handed. You could use your left hand as well, which will create some fantastic marks as well. So here we go, here's another one, just zoom you in. So that's really a good one as well. So that's just plain lines, and I'm going to use up all my black because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to go in there and maybe, you know, add some more, or you can do some dots. like I said, we're just playing around and creating some collage fodder. So that's what we'll do. I'm just trying to find some space. Now, I'm not going to wipe my paintbrush off, which is what I'll usually do. I'm just going to go into the next colour, which is the Perrier 360. It's the iridescent blue black. So I'm going to do that. Or shall I? I have got a piece of paper and I'm going to... So I've just got another dictionary page here. I'm just going to wipe my brush off on there. And again, it's creating it. So marks there, so I've just done that, wiped it off. So yeah, so I'm gonna now, what shall I do? I'm gonna use that blue black colour by Pebeo, and what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna do, what shall I do? Do you know what? I think I'm gonna do some more lines actually. I'm kind of liking that. Let's do that. Let's do that. This is a really nice colour. It's one of my favourite colours, so I have replaced it on a number of times because I do go through this particular iridescent blue black. It's because of the fact that the colour is beautiful itself and it's iridescent as well, so it's a fantastic wanted purchase. If you're looking to buy, you know, replace some of your paints or try out something new, and this one, like I said, just to kind of is the iridescent blue black by Pebeo, and it's 360. Okay, so there's that one for your reference. So I hope everyone's having a decent day today. I've just been out for a walk and it's really mild outside. It looks dark, well, it doesn't look dark, but it does look a little bit dull and dreary, but it's really nice outside. It's always good to get some fresh air, go for a walk, and again get your creative juices flowing. So that's another one done. Okay, so there's that one there. It won't take long to dry. These won't take long to dry, shall I say. So what shall I do this time? Let us use one of the stencils, right? So I'm gonna use, oopsie daisy, I've just put my fingers in one of the pieces we've created. I'm going to use this round circular stencil this time. So you don't have to use stencils, you can just use different tools as well. In fact, yeah, I'll do this and then I'll use a different tool. So what I need to do now is get myself, I don't have a sponge at hand. I'm just going to get some, you can use a makeup sponge or a washing sponge, just use a little bit, you don't need much. I'm just going to use tissue, which is not probably the best idea because it does absorb a lot of the paint, but I'm going to give it a go. So I've just dipped it into the colour and yeah, I'm just going to kind of see what it creates, right? So I'm not use this stencil to, I've used it with my distress inks and they've turned out fantastic, but I haven't used them with acrylic paint. And I was going to actually try these stencils on my jelly plate, which, have I done that? I think I have done that. Yeah, I'll show you those. They've turned out really well. So these stencils that I've actually created myself have turned out really well. And if you want to see me create the stencils on my die cutting machine, the Cricut, then just you know, leave a comment in the comments box below. That's fine, I can do that, it's not a problem. I actually learnt off another YouTuber and she did a series of how to create your own stencils using, you know, your Cricut and also Procreate as well if you've got, but also she did a video which shows you how to create your own stencils, which I actually covered in one of my videos as well. So do pop along and look at my previous videos on how to create your own stencils. You don't need all these kind of gadgets to have a bit of fun and create. It's not necessary. I actually bought it for my art business, so and I found it extremely useful to create stencils with. But like I said, you know, if you've got punches, like shape punches and some paper, copy paper, you can actually go off and do that. You can go off and create your own stencils, and if I can find them, I'll show you some that I showed you last in my previous video. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this so far. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment if you wish to do so. I have got an Etsy shop whereby I sell Indian sari fabrics. I sell snippets and ribbons and motifs and appliques, and I've also got my latest product out there, which is Indian fabric washi tape as well. So I'll leave the link in the description box below to my shop. I've got so much fabric that I need to go through as well. So yeah, it is a full-time job in itself. And sometimes you just want to create. So there you go. That's turned out really well. Really, really well. I'm pleased with that. Now I've kind of gone and followed the stencil, but you don't have to do that. You can move your stencil around, you know, which I think would have been better personally. And you could also go on top of this as well once it's dried with another colour or with another stencil, or make some marks on this. It's really fun, and it just kind of gives you something else to play with when you're collaging and creating your own art piece. Sorry, I'm moving the table around. I'm moving the camera around a little bit. The camera's going up and down. I do apologise for that. So I'm going to stop that one there. I'm really pleased with that. So I'll show you that. I'm going to put that to one side. Where should I put the stencil? Yeah, I'll put it there. So we'll have a closer look towards the end of the video, but there you go. There's my stencil pattern. So that's really nice. And the iridescent blue black is just really, really nice. So I really like that actually. That's really cool. So let's use another tool this time, and we're going to use a palette knife. So if you've got one of these, I'm going to, gosh, zoom you out a bit. So if you've got a palette knife or you've got a butter knife, you can use that to create marks with as well. So I'm going to do that next. Now, which colour? I've run out of my colours, so I'm just going to kind of see what I get. And this time I'm just going to scrape and scrape that way. And then I can probably go on top of this one and see. So I'm just going to have a bit of fun. So what could you do with these? Well, like I said, you can use them in your mixed media projects. You could, you know, create your journal covers with these. You can create your tags, journal covers, your tags, add them onto any kind of collages you've got going on. Just, you know, it's great to have them at hand and to go through different papers with different marks on them, you know, to potentially add on top, stencil on top, create a collage on top of a collage. That's really nice. I like that. So what I'm going to do with this one, because this is kind of looking like it's a complete underpainting, and these are all underpaintings in a way, is I'm probably going to go on top with some more marks. So that'll look really good. The other thing I've got to mention is with book pages, they can be super thin and they can be quite old and frail. So I would potentially cover these with some clear gesso or with some white gesso or black gesso if you want to, or with some matte medium, just to kind of, once that layer is dry, I could then cover it with matte medium. I use a Liquitex brand, and then I could then go on top once that matte medium's dried on top of this with some other colours, because it just kind of seals this and it actually stops the paper from absorbing the paint and making it more and more kind of brittle and, you know, breakable. Is that a word? Rippable. So and you can prepare them in advance as well. So there's that one that I've done there. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy. And that colour I used was the iridescent. I love my iridescent colours. This is the iridescent pearl 020, and this one is abstract, and it's 120 ml you get, 4 fluid ounces, and it's cellular. So this one's really cool as well. I love this one. It looks beautiful when you do a full-on painting or add it to a painting. So what should we do this time? Let's do some circles using the, I'm going to go with the 350 Rich Iridescent Precious Gold this time. Again, it's another Pebeo Studio acrylic, and I'm going to use my paintbrush. Or shall I use my paintbrush? What should I do here? I think when I'm using these stencils is kind of, because I have to pat away, is moving the camera a little bit, but I hope you don't mind, so I will use this one. And this time I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to use the same tissue, dip my little bit of tissue into the paint, and I'm not too worried about getting it straight. I'm just going to kind of go in and see what it achieves or what I achieve. So let's just do that. So I'll probably just use little areas of the stencil and then go back in with another mark or another stencil, or use my distress inks and stencil on top. Just have to wait and see. It's just kind of like getting them ready, really. I think that's the plan for me. Getting the, you know, the underlayers done and ready to collage on top of, or to rip up, or and use in other projects. So I'm just gonna, if I had a sponge, I've got so many sponges to be fair, but I don't know where they are. As usual, they're somewhere. But like I said, you could just get, if you've got any spare washing sponges, you just need a little bit of the sponge and then just tap away. And sponges are so much better. You could use your daubers, but I've only got a couple of spare and I'd like to keep those for my inks. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. It's turned up pretty well. I'm just going to do a little bit more, maybe, over here. So this is quite meditative or mindfulness. Sorry, the camera's really moving. I think I'm going to stop there, and I'm just going to pull my stencil off and see what marks it's made. And then put that stencil to one side. And so here you go. So it's left some marks on here as well, which is quite cool. I like that. I think that's really good. Yeah, I like that one as well. So that's pretty good. So I just wish I had a different size brush. Actually, I've got one. Here we go. I've got a small one. So let's make some more marks this time using that. So we've used this paintbrush here, which is a kind of chisel edge, and then palette knife we've used, and I'm just going to go into using, we've done the stencil effect, a smaller one here. So I'm just going to do, what should I do on this one? I think I'll do some circles. Yeah, let's do that again. You know, you, depending on the size of your paintbrush, you can go small, and I'm just going to put these anywhere and everywhere. So I'm thinking, see, I've gone back into going into lines again, and that's okay. So I thought, you know, why not switch the camera on while I'm doing this and share this little process with you. It is fun. And what you could also do is, if you go back on, you know, do another layer on top and go back in with other layers, you can actually use this for cards as well, which is what I'm also planning to do, and I'll probably take you through that process. So I'm probably going to go on top and make some more marks. And then what I'm going to do also is just put some, I'm going to do a mixture of marks on this. Why not? And it'd be ideal if I had another colour, which is what I'm going to do. So let's just do some lines maybe. We're just using the iridescent pearl. We're just doing some lines with iridescent pearl. And I'm not too bothered if the colours are mixing together on the paper. It doesn't bother me. And you could leave them quite thick to create that texture, but I don't think I'm going to do that because yeah, because I don't have enough drying space as well right now. So there we go. I think I might just do a few heavy ones. There we go. So that's a mixture of supposed circles and then lines. Okay, so that's pretty cool as well. I really like that one. What was I going to do? Do you know what I'm going to do actually? I'm going to go back to my other ones that I've done at the beginning and I'm going to add on top. So I'm going to add some gold on top of these. So that'd be quite cool. So I should wait until they dry, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go on top and add them randomly. I'm just doing crosses in the gold. Let's see what I get. And sometimes when you're doing this, you're kind of thinking, well, what is this going to become? Well, it's not, it doesn't look like anything right now, but as you start kind of going in and you start using this, or you start adding on, that's when your art starts to unfold. And I think that's the critical thing about doing these exercises. Not only are you kind of building up your materials, but you're also figuring things out, you're learning, and you're developing, as I said earlier. And I think that's what you're gaining from this as well as the practical elements of it. So there we go. That's another gold and black cross one. I really like that. I think it's always a good idea to go back. And I'm going to do the same, but this time I'm going to, so this is my black one that I did before at the beginning. So this time I'm going to just add some kind of little marks on these. And once you kind of go away from these and you go back to them and they've dried, you will kind of see the potential of what you've just created probably, you know, a couple of hours ago, or maybe the next day or the week after, and yeah, that's what happens as well, doesn't it? Really, you kind of create something and you think, oh, I don't know what that is, but I've just done it because I needed to do something, you know, just get that paintbrush out or paper or whatever materials and mediums you choose to do. And then before you know it, you go back and you kind of think, oh, actually, that's not too bad. And then you have another idea, or you start building on it. And you also wonder, like I do, how on earth I created that in the first place, because I forget, you know. And that's why YouTubing and making videos does help, because obviously you've got that process to refer back to. It's like a record, isn't it? I really like that one as well. So that's the black and gold marks that I made. So I'm liking the black and gold. Black and gold is obviously going to go because it goes with everything. So that's really cool. Really liking that. And then I think what we'll do next is I've only got the iridescent pearl left, so I'm just thinking of what to do with that. What we'll do actually is we're going to use some more of the iridescent blue black, and I'm just going to get a little bit more tissue. I'm going to use another stencil, and I'm going to go back to one of my existing pieces and start building on top already. And this time the stencil I'm going to use because I don't think I have used it yet. No, I haven't. Is the cross mic stencil. So it's this one here. And so this is, I'm going to build on top of this piece. I did this with the stencil earlier. So I'm going to start going on top already. Just dab it off. And I'm not going to follow, go in line, order, or, you know, I'm just going to place the marks in different areas of my paper. And sometimes, because I'm not using a sponge, the stencil will not come out as it's supposed to, or, you know, as you kind of intended it to when you first created it. It's just going to probably leave a few other marks on top, which is fine. But if you wanted to leave the crosses at the finish, then you need to really use a sponge, I'd say. Or you kind of dab slowly and take your time when you're doing it. Make sure you've got all the little gaps. Fill in the gaps with your acrylic paint is what I mean. So we could do that. Sorry, I know the camera's moving. Not ideal. Let's put one here. I'm trying to be gentle, so not moving the camera. Try and get back into focus as well. There we go. So yeah, so like I mentioned before, I do mixed media art as well as, you know, and I think a lot of people who kind of make journals or books, they, you know, mixed media is the way to go, because you're trying to always develop and learn different techniques and add texture and, you know, all sorts of elements into your work to make it look interesting or visually pleasing to the eye. So just a few crosses there. I'm just going to move my stencil again. I know I should probably wait till it dries, but I'm not going to. And I'm just going to put some more crosses on. They've turned out pretty well, actually, considering I didn't use a sponge and just a little bit of tissue paper. It's actually a kitchen roll paper I'm using, just to let you know. So nothing fancy. And it's cheap stuff as well. It's not expensive kitchen roll, because I know you do get expensive ones out there. This is turning out really well. I'm really pleased with this. I'm going to just continue with it. And I think that's the best thing. When you kind of like what you're seeing, it's best to kind of go with it, get into the flow and continue it. And kind of just keep working at it, keep building your layers. And sometimes if you get to that point where you think, oh, okay, that's okay, but I don't want to go any further with it, maybe another day, then that's a great idea as well. So you don't have to do, and it's always good to move your stencil around as well, which is what I'm doing. So the stencil marks are actually everywhere on the paper, or in the areas that are visually pleasing to you and obviously other people. So I'm really liking that, and I think I'm going to stop there, because I think I'm going to go in with another layer of some sort. So I've got my gold and my iridescent blue black on there, and we're going to go on to this one now. So what should we do? So I'm going to put that one to one side, and I'm going to go back to this one where we used the palette knife and we used the iridescent pearl to make the marks with. You don't have to use book pages, you can use copy paper, you can use magazine paper, anything you've got lying around, you know, just have a go with it and see how you get on and have fun. I think that's really, really important. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some, yeah, I think I'll continue with this. I'm going to use one of my stencils again, and this is the Namesta stencil, which means greetings and Gujarati. And I'm going to use this. I've got different sizes in this, but this is really great in this size. So I'm going to just, shall I zoom in? No, I'll go back out again, sorry. There we go. So this is what it looks like. Okay, if you can see that. And I'll show you close up once I've done the stencil. I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to go in my blue again and use my... I'm going to use the... try and use a paintbrush, see if that does a decent job. And it might just do that because it's thinning the acrylic out across into the gaps, and it's allowing me to see and fill the gaps in a lot quicker, I think. We'll see. So yeah, let's take that off. Oh yes, I like that. That's really cool. I'll show you that. So I'm going to go this way around here, I think, and actually we'll go at an angle, right? So let's go at an angle, and that's the other thing, you know, you can do your marks at an angle. You don't have to go across, you don't have to do them randomly, you can just go at an angle. You know what, I think the paintbrush technique is a lot better. It stops the camera from moving as well. So it's a double bonus. That's really cool, I really like that. And let's go in there at the bottom, so I'm just going to put you back into frame again. And yeah, I think if I use the little one, that might work as well. So the smaller paintbrush. And you don't have to, you know, when you're stenciling, you don't have to get the complete pattern on there. You can get parts of the pattern on there. So again, don't get too hung up about that as well when you're doing this. Not essential, because that's, again, it's all part of abstract art. It's about collaging. You know, you're probably going to go over this. What should I do? I'll go this way this time. Or should I go? Yeah, I'll go on this side. So I'm just going to take you out. And I'm going to go on the side, I think, just here. Yep. So let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. So what's everybody up to today? Are you doing anything interesting or exciting? There we go. I don't know about yourselves, but when you're filming, you have to be very careful about your storage on your phone. I have storage on my phone, but I'm constantly using it up, especially now because I'm doing videos. So I'm just going to turn the stencil around this way, and I think I'll go this way on here. Yeah, so, you know, it's annoying when you're kind of filming and then you run out of storage, or you know, you have to go and buy some more storage, or you have to go back in really and start deleting any called photos or videos or apps that you've got on your phone, just to create that storage space and to be able to create some more videos. I have so many family photos on my phone which I don't want to get rid of. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to leave that there, and I might go back in with something else. I'm quite liking that at that point. And you just know when to stop, and I think that is the time to stop in this occasion. So I've done that. Now I've got I'm going to go back into one of my old pieces again, and this time indeed I'm going to use this one. So this is again another one we created earlier, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the iridescent pearl on here. In fact, I will use my smaller paintbrush. So let me just get the gold off, and I'm going to go in. This is quite thick. The cellular acrylics are quite thick, so you can obviously thin them down with medium, or you can thin them down with water, Just be careful when you do thin them down, because obviously, you know, they're pigmented in the first place, and then you start thinning them down with water in particular, it will start taking away the opaqueness of that colour, which that's, you know, that's entirely your choice. Depends on what you go for. Mediums, there are mediums out there which you can buy to thin down paints. I think they're the GAC mediums that you can buy, GAC products that you can buy to thin down your paints. So there we go. So I've just gone over my black rainbows, let's call them rainbows, with the iridescent pearl. So I've got another layer on top there. So I'm liking that. That looks pretty cool. So there's that one. And then I'm going to have to stop this video at some point because I'm going to run out of storage again. So what should we do with this one? Okay, let's just do some thin lines. So I'm going back on another existing piece I created earlier, and it's not completely dry, and I'm okay with that. It's almost dry, so it doesn't take long, like I mentioned. So these are good. Oh, I know which mark I wanted to create. I've just remembered now. So I'll give that a go in a second. So there we go. It's really cool. Use my paintbrush, wipe it off on here as well. Okay, so I think that's that one. So the other one I wanted to do, and what I'm going to do for that one is okay, I need my black. So I'm just going to get some more black out, and this will probably be the last one that I'm going to be doing, so we will do that. And what I'll do is I'm going to just put that a little bit there. You don't need much as well. Again, I'm just going to, so this time I'm going to do I think this one needs thinning down a bit. Just going to do lines like that, simple like ladders. So let's go this way, right? Here in a different direction. There we go. Oh, oops, must have moved properly. So we're just doing ladders, like a ladder shape. And you don't have to do perfect lines. Your lines can be all over the place. And like I said, you don't have to use your dominant hand when you're doing mark making. Use your less dominant hand. So let's go that way. I think I'm running out of this, but oh, so yeah. Then I'm just going to finish this off with some of the iridescent colour and just lay down some paint, not think about it because I want to finish up my acrylics anyway. And that's pretty nice actually when you mix up the Mars Black with the cellular iridescent pearl. It's quite cool. I'm really liking that. So again, you know, you can mix up colours as well. Again, I've learnt that I do like that combination. So this exercise has actually not only rewarded me with some playtime, but also with preference as well. It's given me an idea about my preferences. yeah, so there you go, that's another one. Okay, so these are not supposed to be spectacular pieces of art, because they're unfinished pieces. They're all kind of like underpaintings to start off with. So I'm just going to show you these pieces. So there's that one there. We'll put in landscape. There's that one there that we did. I'll put that one to one side. There's another one here that we did. Crosses and some gold marks. Really like that one. Then the gold and the black again. That gold is beautiful on the black. Very shimmery. So I'm not bothered if I lay that on top because it's almost dry. There's the iridescent, is it iridescent pearl? Is it the iridescent pearl? Yeah, iridescent pearl and the gold. So I just did some lines, crosses and some circles. I'll put that there because that's quite wet. And crosses with the black and gold. Really liking that. Then we've got the iridescent blue, black with iridescent pearl. So I've obviously, without thinking about it, chosen the colours I wanted, but they all kind of seem to be iridescent as well. So obviously I'm attracted to that. And that's the thing, you always kind of, you know what you like and what you prefer. And I think, again, this you know, it's all about preferences and choices. Obviously, you know, you try out things and you learn and experiment and go with, use mediums which are unfamiliar to you as well, which is what I would recommend, just to give them a go if you've got them at hand, or you know somebody's no longer using them, you can just, you know, ask to borrow them. And like I said, you don't have to use high-ended acrylics to actually do this exercise. You can do you can use just your children's acrylic paints, buy some from, you know, the works where you can get little pots of acrylic paints and have a go. I definitely would recommend it, especially if you're in a creative block, or you know, you're working and you don't do any kind of creativity and you just want to do something. This is a really good exercise to do. So what else did I have to show you? Oh yeah, we did this one as well with the crosses. I'm going to show you that one, and just a simple black one. So I'm going to go back in. This is going to be my last one because I can see I've got some paint left over. And what I'm going to do in this particular one is, what should I do? I tend to go on top, so this time I'm going to go in between the black there. I think that's a good idea. If my camera does cut out, I do apologise in advance. You know, just kind of painting lines, using different colours, and you know, say up to 5 colours, vibrant colours, or a mixture of vibrant and muted colours. You can create some beautiful art, you know, and you can just do it on book page or magazine paper, or kind of any scrap paper that you've got lying around. You know, use your envelopes that are coming through the post that you're just about to dispose of, turn them into, you know, some beautiful pieces of art that you can use collage with, or you can embellish on top of. So yeah, I really like that, and I wasn't sure when I was thinking of doing this whether it's going to work, but that's the thing, again, don't think about it, just do it and see what happens, because you don't know what surprise you're going to get, and it could be a really good surprise, it could be an okay surprise, or it could be an idea. And I think they're the really best ones to have when it gives you another idea as well. And I've just got a little bit of gold, so I'm just going to go in and add some gold as well. So there you go, that's my last and final one that I've just gone on top of. And I can't wait, because what I might do is then go back on top of this and mute it out a little bit with some white gesso or white acrylic paint, just kind of make it more transparent, and then go back in and I might stencil it. I'm not sure right now, but I'll probably show you what I have done. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. If there's any particular videos that you'd like me to do, then just leave a comment in the box below, not a problem. Don't forget to visit my Etsy shop. I do have Buy Me a Coffee link, so if you feel like you'd like to donate something to help me keep these videos running, that'd be fantastic. If not, it's not a problem whatsoever. So yeah, so that's it for the time being, and yeah, don't forget to pop across to my Etsy shop for those Indian sari fabrics, vintage and contemporary pieces I've got in there, and some a new product which is the Indian fabric washi tape as well. I'll see you guys next time. In the meantime, happy creating and have a fantastic day. Love you. Bye bye. Mwah.